today. Sean Strickland will step in the octagon tomorrow night with Dricus du Plessis. Today, what we're going to discuss, because it seems to be going everywhere all over the MMA world, and I don't understand why it's shocking. Is Sean Strickland a star or the new star in the UFC? So this is what we're discussing on today's episode of Matter of Fact MMA. What's up? What's happening? Let's go. What's up, guys? We right back at it. If you didn't notice, we out here rocking the Ravens. They going on the field tomorrow against the Houston Texans. And we trying to come out of that, you know what I'm saying? We trying to get that first playoff win, you know what I'm saying? We trying to get there, you know what I'm talking about, with Lamar Jackson, that is. So that's what we talking about. Go Ravens. Now, let's get into this. So, what I've been noticing here over the last few days, and I don't understand why this is so shocking, especially the MMA media, and it's the fact that everyone keeps acting like they're shocked that Sean Strickland is developing this huge fan base, and that all of these people are cheering for him, and that all of these people like him. And for the life of me, I don't understand what y'all don't get about Sean Strickland. So that's just what I'm going to discuss real quick. Sean Strickland at his presser was talking. He gets asked some questions about certain communities in which he may have said disparaging things about in the past. And he gets asked this question by a member of the MMA fighting crew, who I actually like this dude. I've watched a lot of their content. And, the journalist that actually asked him the question, even though I do like him, I don't even understand why you even asked him the question in that setting. All right, I get it, because in the sense, when else are you going to have a chance to ask Sean Strickland those questions about what he said about that community? But at the same time, it's like, bro, he never brought anything up related to that community, disparaging about that community, or saying anything negative about them at all that entire presser. Now, he might have done it on his channel, on his podcast, on his social media, plenty of times in the past. I'm not here to disparage any of that. Nor am I here to disparage any comments co-sign any comments or anything that Sean Strickland made. I don't agree with hardly anything Sean Strickland says, as well as I'm not a huge fan of him. But I'm the type of person, certain things don't really bother me about my fighters. Now, certain things do, but other things don't. And I didn't even understand why this question was even posed to him or asked of him at this presser, because he didn't do anything that would lead you to even ask him that question. Nevertheless, shout out to the gentleman that asked him the question, because like I said, I do like MMA fighting's content. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. I like a lot of their journalists. Here's the thing. There was no need to even ask him that. You asking him that was essentially what Ariel does. It was baiting him. It was baiting him in a position where all the lights are on him, all the cameras are on him. You already probably have a good idea about how he feels about that subject, and you're baiting him in a way to react. Because what if he just would have been like, oh, I don't have a problem with any of them, and I like them all. I guarantee you right now, if he would have answered that, the journalist wouldn't have moved on. He would have been like, well, what about in the past when you said blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So, in my opinion, it's clear that you're trying to bait him to say something. It would have been different if he had already said something, and then you asked him the questions that the gentleman asked him, but that wasn't the case. Now, with that being said, a lot of people in the MMA sphere are wondering how he could have this much fan support. they saw the press conference yesterday, and they're wondering, like, the Canadians were acting crazy. They were wilding out. They love Sean Strickland. And I keep seeing people posting videos about, is Sean Strickland the new star of the UFC? Is he a major star? And, how is he a major star? So on and so forth. And the only thing that I just wanted to touch on this video is this. I don't understand why MMA media or MMA journalists, whoever, can't connect the dots with why he has all the fan support that he has. He has all the fan support that he has because, for right or for wrong, he's just speaking his mind. And to a certain extent, you really get the feeling that he's honestly saying how he truly feels. Now, there are times in which, he's going to flip-flop on issues. He's going to change about issues. He's going to go this way. He's going to lean that way. But that's just life. That's how all of us are. All of us feel a certain way about different topics, different situations related to all different people, families, sports, whatever, jobs, everything. And you feel one way at this point in time. Different things happen. Maybe different things happen in your personal life, lightens you, enlightens you, maybe I should say. And you change how you feel about all types of different subjects and topics, and how you feel about people and, co-workers, acquaintances, family members, friends, whatever the case is. He's just human. So that's just what he's going to do. But for this, I always hear, in MMA media, when they're talking about, Sean Strickland, they're always like, he's an outstanding fighter and da-da-da-da-da, but he's a deplorable human being, and I can't stand him and all this. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You can feel that way. And on some occasions, I've agreed with you on that. However, why is there this bias against the fighters that you all have deemed as being cool? Because from what I understand, the former middleweight champion that all of MMA journalism used to worship is out here touching dogs. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. But there's been a lot of proof, allegedly. And, a lot of people will walk over a human being laying on the ground in the street that needs help. AKA, look at how people treat homeless people. But people will bend over backwards and do anything to save a dog, to help a dog, to do any of that. And this dude was out here doing all this stuff. No one wanted to look into it, except for shout out to the MMA guru who did. No one wanted to talk about it. Joe Rogan didn't want to talk about it. Jamie all of a sudden couldn't Google on the Joe Rogan show. He couldn't get no info. And my whole thing is Izzy said a lot of wild stuff too in his career. And he's done some pretty idiotic things and said some pretty deplorable things. But because it might have been deemed by MMA journalism and some MMA fans as, oh, Izzy's so cool. He's so cool. Y'all just let it slide, bro. And so I'm not saying Sean Strickland is right or wrong in anything that he says. But y'all pick and choose which side or which individual that you just want to sweep certain things under the rug. I'm a John Jones fan, right? With that being said, I'm not biased, a biased person in the sense of John Jones does a lot of deplorable, horrible, downright dastardly, tremendous word for a dude from Kentucky, dastardly things. And I'm not here to say that he's a good guy or any of that. Like, he's a pretty dastardly human, a pretty dastardly individual. I just like the savage things that he does within the octagon, right? So with that being said, there's a lot of times everybody sweeps things under the rug about Jones. And I don't agree with that either. And I'm a fan of his. I'm not sweeping nothing under the rug. The man done did a whole lot of dastardly things, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it ain't no need to sweep it under the rug. So when I'm looking at Sean Strickland, I just don't understand what you have here. I don't understand what y'all don't get as to why he would start pretty much is becoming a fan favorite. Because people are sick of all of these fighters that are all goody-goody and perfect, and we're tired of the Michael Chandlers of the world, and they're adopting orphans, and they're talking about religion, and they're praying, and they're they always have all of this whole list of sayings that look like they could be on a picture on the wall in your dentist's office or your doctor's office, guys like Michael Chandler, or like the guys that would have like that photo. I'll guarantee he has that photo in his home of the kitten that's hanging on a rope, and it says, "Hang in there," and he's clawing to it. You know what I'm talking about? Those type of photos. That's who Michael Chandler is. And bro, people got real life issues and real life problems, and people are dealing with their own personal issues in life. They're not trying to be fair to everybody. They don't have time to comprehend, I need to be fair and speak fairly about everyone and do this and do that. And I need to always, toe the line and make sure that I don't offend anyone. Man, some people's out here living grimy, bro. They living dirty. Life is hard. Life is rough, and life is long. People out here living dirty, bro. They getting it how they live, if you understand that saying. They ain't got time to be worried about, let me stand up for the next man and the next woman and make sure that I don't offend them. People are out here living how they live. We ain't knocking anybody. We don't have issues with whatever anybody wants to do in their life or how they want to live. Right? So with that being said, man, sometimes we just get sick and tired of the syrupy, super sweet, taffy sweet people that are so like, I don't want to offend anyone, and I want to make sure that, I don't want to say anything negative. Bro, bump all that, bro. Life is hard. We sick of it. We tired, all right? We done worked 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week with overtime, 60 hours a week, 80 hours a week, because we got 2 jobs. We tired, bro. Okay? And sometimes we ain't got time to be fair to everybody. And I think that guys like Sean Strickland, they tap into that because that's a workman's fighter. That's a blue collar fighter is what Sean Strickland is. He's not trying to be Michael Chandler or Mike Malott and be perfect and, and have all of these little quirky things that keep you going, keep you motivated, keep you going. That's not who he is. So he's just out here. He's speaking his mind. He's not worried about ruffling feathers. He's not trying to ruffle feathers, I don't believe. But he's just being him because he didn't grow up like Izzy. He didn't grow up like a lot of these other guys, or maybe he didn't grow up like that journalist, and I like that journalist, so I'm not knocking him. But he didn't grow up in this perfect world where you have all of this sweetness that you can give to everybody and be nice to everyone. Some folks' life was hard, bro. And they ain't got time to be trying to tiptoe around things. And I believe that is what he is tapping into. That is what he is. That's what's actually happening. Like that's why people like him and identify with him. A lot of people probably don't agree with a lot of his points of view about different people and different walks of life. But they identify with the fact that he's not Michael Chandler. He's not rah-rah and, and just pray every day and, and just keep on trying and you'll make it to the top. Keep pushing that boulder uphill and eventually you'll make it. Man, bump all that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're going to keep on pushing that boulder. You ain't never going to make it. So I ain't got time to be nice to the rest of y'all, bro. I'm just trying to live. My life keeps kicking me in the A every single day. And I'm tired, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to get on here and make these videos and not curse. I want to curse because I curse all the time in real life. You know, but I have a son who he's getting older. He might come on and start watching these videos and I might not want to be on here saying too many things. And I don't mean I don't curse around my son in person, but you see what I'm saying? Life is real. And I think Sean Strickland is a real person. And people identify with that. It ain't Kobe. All right? It ain't Covington. It ain't the things he be saying, which is a lot of fakeness and a lot of manufactured image. This is not that. So I don't understand what so many people in the MMA sphere, MMA journalism, you know, so many people on the MMA hour, I don't understand what y'all don't get about it. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, I just wanted to come in and talk about that. It goes down tomorrow. UFC 297, Sean Strickland stepping in the octagon with Dricus du Plessis. And even with all that being said, I'm picking Dricus to win that fight. That was my pick in my pick video, if you go back and take a look at it. So I'm not flip-flopping on that. But I just don't understand why y'all can't connect the dots as to what's going on with Sean Strickland. Nevertheless, I appreciate you guys for joining me for this impromptu episode, this quick episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I'll check you next time. Peace.